Hello, everybody. I am James, CEO here at Arca Solutions, the company behind eDirectory. Welcome to today's webinar. With us, we have Emerson and Gabriel from our marketing department, as well as Daniel Talon from operations. So we're excited about today's webinar. We're going to talk about some tips to improve your homepage. Just some logistics before we get started. If anybody has a question during the webinar, just post it right into the chat, and we will stop periodically to answer any questions you have, as well as at the end of the webinar, we'll be happy to take any questions on both this topic for this week, as well as anything else you may want to ask. So great. And also the webinar will be recorded, and we will post a recording of the webinar to our blog, usually within 24 hours after. And at the webinar, we'll post our contact info as well if anybody has any questions that they want to reach out personally later. So great. So let's get started. First, just a little bit of background about the eDirectory platform, the product that we built. It is a platform for launching directory-based, listing-based websites and mobile apps. So it's used for all sorts of different types of guides, local guides, niche B2B guides, etc. It has different modules. It can do, obviously business listings, other types of listings. It's configurable. Events, classifieds, etc. You can go to eDirectory.com and learn more. It also has native mobile apps that you can launch into the Apple and Google Play stores, where they download and connected to the same database and everything as your website. Great. So today's webinar, we're going to talk about the homepage, and Emerson and Gabriel are primarily going to lead this webinar. It's more of a marketing topic, but just a little overview of why it's so important. Obviously, the homepage is probably the main entry point into your site, and so you really want to make it look great. You want everything on there to look great. The images, the content needs to be very well selected. Think about how people are using it, what they're looking for. It's sort of the entry point into the depth of the websites. You want to make it easy to browse through. Think about what information you put above the fold, below the fold, on the page as you lose some visitors as you scroll, etc. And now I'll turn it over to Emerson. We're going to talk a little bit about some tools and some other stuff regarding that you can use today. So Emerson.
Okay, thank you, James. So first thing is to make tweaks on the homepage, you need to collect and analyze data, because data-driven decisions are better than just taking decision on what you think it's best for your project. So you need to answer these questions. What are users looking for? Where are they clicking? Where are they dropping from your pages? What do you want them to see, and where do you want them to click? So it looks basic, but and it is. We need to start with these questions to formulate hypotheses and then start acting. And how to collect this type of data? Using Google Search Console, Google Analytics, the internal search reports, and tools that record the heat maps from your website, just like Hotjar. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to show each one of these 4 platforms just to illustrate how to collect this data. So you need to understand your user behavior to start making the plan to change your homepage. That's the very basic step to improve the homepage. So you're going to formulate your hypothesis based on this data you're going to collect. So do you have enough content to display on your project, on your homepage? Is your content properly curated? James has a lot to say about content curation. We have some webinars about this as well, because you need to step in and make your content to make it shiny and beautiful to the eyes of the user.
Yeah, Emerson, let me just jump in on that topic just really quickly here. In terms of curation, basically what curation is your selection of the content that's going to go and where it's going to go. And the big thing actually that's more important is deciding what's not going to be on there, and limiting and really refining it to just show people what they want. There's so much data and so much information out there on the internet that you know, what you put and limiting it to the best possible choices is often the real value that you're adding.
Okay, thanks. So are you showcasing the best you have on your website on the first time your user is going to see your website? Is it easy to search and navigate through your contents? And is the navigation and the footer also helping users to find content they're looking for? So you need to understand these to formulate your hypothesis and start knowing the software and start making the tweaks you need. So the what and where element. So I left this image here for this purpose because our search bar is made of two elements: the where and what. Where is the location people are going to look for the content, and what is the keyword field, so what they're going to type: the restaurant, the business provider, etc. So are locations an important part of your directory, and if yes, are you taking advantage of the widgets we have to showcase listings or events based on location? Which modules are the most valuable for your website: listing, views, classifieds, events, articles, etc. So you need to understand this as well, and a combination of both elements. So these are part of the insights you can get from Google Analytics as well, because you can see the demographics of your users, location and gender mostly.
Yeah, Emerson, and one thing I just wanted to mention is eDirectory is used for all sorts of different types of directories, and we do have a number of directories that don't have any location. They're not location-based directories. It would be something that it's a listing that doesn't have a location. It might be like a speaker or something like that type of directory, and those directories wouldn't. And so we have widgets available where you don't need to use location if it's not of interest. Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, it's possible to turn off the locations on the website, so you have just a more simple navigation and search bar with just the keywords field, just like James mentioned. So here we have know the page editor widgets. We have a visual page editor based on widgets that you can drag and drop the elements. It's pretty easy. Pretty simple to use and configure your home page. And mainly we have header widgets and with a few options, the search widgets, cards widgets, because they are very important because you can showcase and highlight any type of content in your directory. You can feature your best advertisers, members, listings, events, classifieds, whatever you have inside your in terms of content, you can display and highlight the best you have using the cards widgets. The banner ads widgets is also important for revenue, etc. Events widgets, the carousel, you can showcase this type of contents. The content widgets, which is a blog, article, and the custom content widgets that you can embed external services, just like widgets, weather widgets, or different sorts of external contents. What I call engagement widgets, which is newsletter and a lead form. For example, if you want to ask questions to your users, did you find everything you were looking for, or do you want to suggest a listing for this directory, etc. You can use these lead forms to engage with users. And of course, the footer, it has to follow the same content. It doesn't have to follow, but it's good to have a similar content you have on the navigation and help users to find important content on your website. So these are the main widgets you need to understand how they work, so you can, after formulating your hypothesis based on data, know which one you are going to use to meet your criteria and reach your goals. And we have here 4 suggestions to get inspired for homepages. So I prepared 4 examples. One is minimalist, and another one is short and to the point. One that feature advertisers, and one with almost all the widgets we have available. So let me just show here. This one is what I call it minimalist. So we have the search bar and some banner ads and the footer. So if you want to make people search, and that's the first step. You don't want anything distracting people on a first moment. So you can get rid of almost all elements and leave just what's most important, which is the search bar and some banner ads. Here I have another option, which is a short homepage. We have, of course, the search bar. Then we have some feature categories to help people see what they're looking for, and the location widgets. And a newsletter, of course, for engagement and email list building, and the footer. Also, on the last webinar, James mentioned about the navigation, and I asked, is your navigation helping people to find your contents? People won't look for listings or deals or classified, so adjusting your navigation to display your best content and help users finding faster what they're looking for will make all the difference in user engagement. So pay attention on how your navigation sets to make your website more appealing for end users. This page is the one that features the best content you have on your website. You can use the sliders to drive traffic to your deals homepage, for listings homepage, events homepage, or on a specific advertiser, for example. You can use the sliders and the clickable links the best way you think. And here we have a number of widgets configured to display, in this case, listings based on level. So I'm displaying just the top level listings here, creating an extra exposure for these advertisers, other banner ads. So you can do that for every single content you have. Feature listings, feature classifieds, feature deals, feature events, etc. So here I have just the feature listings, because the idea is the same. And we have a number of different designs for these widgets, with 5 elements, 2 elements, 3 elements, 4 columns. You can configure in different ways to display 3 listings or 30 listings. You decide that. It's pretty simple to do this. And this one that I call a full homepage, which has almost all the widgets available for a homepage. So we have the search bar, the feature listings with 3 elements. We can configure this to display like 4 columns and 16 listings, for example. It's very easy to configure this. This one for deals is another type of design, 3 main elements. Another banner for classifieds, the one with 5 items. The upcoming events that we have this scroll bar here. Very, very beautiful. This one is the one for blog posts, which shows the most recent first. We have, of course, the newsletter, one for a featured article, if you have articles on your website as well, one for sponsored links, which is banner ads as well, recent reviews, which is very important too, as you show people that you have content, you have engaged users, you have an active community on your project. It's not just a simple website, it's a community website with reviews, and business can reply to these reviews and create even more engagement and useful content. The widget for browse by location, you can enable and disable the counter here depending on the content you have. Okay, that's pretty much it for the sample pages I prepared. And let me just show you quickly the tools I mentioned. The first one is Google Search Console. Once you connect your website to Search Console, you start having data about the queries people type in and find your website. You can see the best pages you have, the countries or the location they are accessing your site, devices, etc. So if you notice that you have a lot of traffic from mobile, for example, would be good to have a simple homepage, as you want to have a lot of images to be loaded, so you have a faster web page with and driving more engagement. People won't have to scroll too much to see all the content. So these are the types of information you need to collect and analyze to take decisions. So Google Search Console will help you finding this type of information. On Google Analytics, there are a lot of reports that will give you insights about what's the most important pages, so you can take decisions as well. You have the demographics reports to show location and gender specifically. So you have the cities, you can take decisions about, let me create a page just for California or a page for New York, for example. If you have a lot of traffic coming from one city or another, you can take decision based on these reports. And the last one is the Hotjar. It's an external tool that you can easily integrate with eDirectory. And it will give you insights like this. You can see where people are hovering the mouse, where they are clicking. So you can see if this widget is being a lot of receiving a lot of clicks or not, and you can test and see how it goes. And also, one of the most important is the scroll heat map. So you can see if people are reaching all the areas of your website. For example, this is my old homepage before my last tweak. So 25% of my users will see my footer, for example. So not everyone will see this. So we can use this information to change the content, the widgets, creating more appealing widgets, the way they are going to scroll, or removing widgets and making a lighter, smaller home page. Guess that's pretty much it I have for today. Let me just get back to my presentation.
We have a few questions just where you were mentioning about Hotjar and Google Analytics. One from George asking is there any other decent options aside from Google Analytics? And Charlene is asking what is Hotjar?
Okay, for Google Analytics, that's one of the best tools to analyze traffic we have. There are some concerns about this usage in Europe because of privacy regulations, etc. But aside of Google Analytics, I don't know any better option than this one. And Hotjar is a tool, an external tool that will record heat maps from your website, so you can see where they are clicking, where they are scrolling, etc. So it's a tool that helps you to visualize what users are doing in your website. So it's not just a report like analytics that shows you the number of people visiting this page or that page. So it's an important tool as well. Question about Hotjar. Is Hotjar free? Yes, there are free plans and paid plans with more features. It's up to you to use the free one.
And then, Emerson, let me just jump in on the Google Analytics question. I realize everybody, I know I'm a little concerned about sort of Google, taking over the world and not treating your data and all sorts of stuff. Unfortunately, they sort of have a market monopoly, on the analytics, because they basically gave the platform out for free and spent billions of dollars developing it. So it really is a nice platform. There are some other platforms out there. They may not be as comprehensive, but you may be able to find, like, Hotjar does some parts of it, SEMrush. There's some other platforms out there that you can possibly get other pieces of Google Analytics, especially if you're not, hardcore into the analytics and are going to look at every little thing all day, and you just need some simple, more simple reports. So your probably best option if you really don't want to use Google is just to Google it and see what else is out there, and you may find some type of a plugin.
Yeah, and probably to be simple to integrate with the eDirectory using Google Tag Manager, or even the custom content widget, depending on the scope of the project.
Okay, great. We had a couple more questions. Is there any way to change the language, for instance, Spanish to English? Yes, in the site manager of the directory, you can go in and set the language, and we have a bunch of stock languages available. Spanish is certainly one of them. Portuguese, French, I think we have German, maybe Turkish. And if you need some language that we don't have, you can reach out to us and we can actually get you the language files, and you can provide a translation, and then we can plug in those files, put it back in. So take a look at that. It's in the site manager settings area. As far as that goes, are there eDirectory internal analytics? Yes, we have some very, very simple analytics in there about that deal with, how many views a listing has, a detail and summary view a listing has, and a click through, and also some search term stuff in there. The one thing about it that we've struggled with our internal analytics is just there's a lot of sort of automated bot traffic, sort of junk spam traffic out there, where these automated robots go and index your site and click through it. And so we've struggled with it a little bit, and Google does a really good job at sort of filtering out a lot of that. And so sometimes that's one of the reasons people often look at Google for sort of their main analytics. But we do have some very simple stuff in there if you go into the site manager. Sorry, just going back, can you remove the location search box and replace with keywords? Yes, we have a widget, don't we, Emerson, that just does the search without the location, I believe, if that's what you need.
I believe it has to be, the locations need to be disabled in order to make it work, but it's possible.
It's possible, yeah. And that's a question from Tanya. So if you want to reach out to an account exec, we can show you how that's done there and get you some more information, make sure it meets your needs.
Okay, and the question from Daniel about changing language, we have the Google Translator plugin that it's pretty simple to use. So even users and advertisers can change language according to what they want. It has almost 200 languages available.
Yeah, if you use the Google plugin, the Google Translate plugin, then it'll do the translation for you. One thing that we actually realized, we have a lot of people that come in and they're like, oh, I want to launch this site in 10 different markets and 10 different languages. And what we realized early on was that to get really good SEO and really good performance out of the sites, you basically, each of the sites, it's actually better for you to have one language on each one. So eDirectory, the system itself, will run in one language. You can select it in the site manager. If you want to run multiple languages, basically that's typically done using an add-on site for the second language, and that way you can get all the keywords and everything really well tagged and organized. And if you have more questions about that, you can reach out and we can walk through that with you about how all the multiple language stuff works, Daniel. But to change it, if you want to just change the language one time for everybody on the whole site, you log into the site manager in the settings area. There's language settings. Let's see. Can visitors change the language? With the Google Translate plugin, the visitors can change the language. Yes. Do the extra widgets slow down the site? So, I mean, at the end of the day, the widgets are sort of more content. Basically, it's content that you're putting on the page. So if you have 10 widgets, 10 pieces of content, the page is going to be a little bit heavier. However, we've put a lot of work into sort of optimize everything from a performance standpoint, from the server stack on up. The core of the system, the pages are rendered using the Elastic engine, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know that, another widget or two is really going to be all that noticeable, but certainly you do want to look at the weight of your pages and just make sure you're not sort of overloading them.
James, just one thing to add. The widgets are loaded based on if they are on the screen or not, if they're visible. So you can have a lot of widgets, they won't slow down the page load, but external scripts may slow down the page load because they're loading external content. So maybe
so if you put in a custom content widget and call a script that's on some other server to pull content in, that potentially has a larger performance impact than just the widgets. And also the site has a bunch of caching systems and other things that we've sort of built into it to try to get pretty good performance out of it. Great. We had a comment from Charlene about the languages. Yes, we'll reach out. We'll note that and reach out about the languages. Charlene also commented, we've been struggling to get our Google Maps to show up. Nothing works. Is it possible to assist? Yeah, we'll reach out and see what's going on with your Google Maps. Google Maps, basically you need to put in the Maps key from Google. Google today requires a credit card to be inputted into your map system, even if you don't have traffic, so sufficient traffic where you're still at the free level. Google has a free level for the maps, but they still require you to sign up and put in a credit card and all that. And then the other thing is the listings need to have the longitude and latitude entered. And so the system has a way, when you add a new listing and you put in the address, it'll do a lookup longitude and latitude and store that info. But sometimes people import it and their import file doesn't have the longitude latitude. And so it may be that, there needs to be an update or something along those lines for it. But certainly we can, we'll note that, Charlene, and we'll have somebody reach out for you to check on your maps and what's going on there with it. You may want to just test one individual listing where you add a test listing, put in a known address, and then just see if the map shows up okay. And if it doesn't, then that'll tell you, oh, it's probably something with the maps key, or maybe the maps key is okay, but you don't have the credit card in Google's system for that.
James, it seems we skipped one question here.
Okay.
At the top, someone asking how to install Hotjar. I think we had another webinar explaining the Google Tag Manager, and I think we showed, right, Emerson? Let me.
Yeah,
Yes,
let me.
I believe
go ahead,
Gabriel posted the link here for both. I guess.
I did.
Oh, okay.
You just scroll back a little bit.
Okay, so we have
Okay.
the link to install the Hotjar posted in the chat.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Google Tag
Perfect.
Manager, it basically just includes a bunch of tags from other websites. And so if you put the Hotjar tag into Google Tag Manager and then log into your site manager and make sure your Google Tag Manager's working, that'll work. And if you still have problems, reach out to our support team. They're available on live chat. You just go to eDirectory.com and chat there, and they'll be able to help you. And we also have a knowledge base on eDirectory.com as well. with some more info on that. Let's see, which are your go-to must-have widgets? I think if you look at the page editor, you'll see there's a bunch in there. I mean, there's the cards, which shows some featured listings, probably the category widgets that show the different categories in there. There's other things where you can do a video gallery. That's one people like these days. Just browse through there. It really depends on the style of your site and what you're trying to do there. As far as that goes, as far as, you know, what are the most popular widgets, but I think those are a few of them. Okay, Charlene says nothing's working on the maps. Yeah, our support team, I'll have them reach out after the webinar. We'll get that worked out for you as far as the Google Maps go. Usually it's something pretty simple there. Is the recording going to be available for this webinar? Yes, we'll post it on the blog. By tomorrow morning, we'll have the blog post up with the webinar recorded for if anybody wants to watch again. Let's see, any more questions? Anything else?
Let me just read this last slide here, and then I can show a little bit about the back end, just showing some widgets, etc. So it's pretty simple to use.
Okay.
As an extra tips, double check the SEO for your home page. So bet on the meta description. It's way more important than meta keywords in terms of general SEO. And every page you create and you can tweak, always pay attention on the SEO. Another thing is to check the links for the apps. We have this feature present on the footer widgets or dedicated widgets for the apps, and they come with the general and a standard link to our demo app on the store. So if you're not using that, or if your app is not ready yet, please update this link so your users will have the best experience. If you are using the simple search bar, which has just the search fields, be sure to add a custom content widget and place an H1 title in there, because it will reflect on SEO as well. And minor tweaks you can possibly do about colors and fonts and make rounded corners, just so you don't have a square website, but it's up to you. Each one decides what designs is best. And lastly, but not least important, update your terms of use, privacy policy, and FAQ pages. Don't use lorem ipsum, because it will impact your reputation as well. So that's my main advice here. Now, this is our contacts. Let me just pull up my site. So on the dashboard, you can go to design and then page editor. It's very simple. Let me just show you the pages I created. This one, for example. Here on the top, you'll see the SEO options. So meta description and meta keywords, they are the most important you have on the website. If you are creating pages that are not supposed to be indexed, just like a promotional page, for example, you can just tick this this box or untick this box, so the search engines won't be able to crawl and index this specific page. And for the widgets, we have this plus button here that you can see all the available widgets. Let me just show you a few. For the headers, we have this for examples, navigation with centered logo, logo on the left, with contact phone, for example. The listing and cards, we have a lot of options you can choose from. And let me show you quickly how to configure them. So you're going to select which module it will pull up information, if it's from listing, classifieds, for example. If you want to display banner ads inside these widgets, the number of columns, the links related to these widgets, colors, and you can pick items individually. So if you have 3 main advertisers that you want to highlight on your homepage, you can select these one, or you can customize the rules to display 1 or 2 levels, and then the ordering results by highest rated, most viewed, for example. How many items, if you want to display 3 or 30 listings on the homepage, is up to you. You can just configure it here. If you want to use this widget for a specific category and or a specific location, it's up to you as well. Select the featured locations here. So it's very simple to configure the widgets to meet your goals here. Other types of widgets, this is for the listings, the lead form, as I mentioned, so you can create questions and engage with your users. Banner ads, the search box with the sliders, the one with this more simple, just the fields and the bottom, and the other ones we have here. That's it covers pretty much everything we have.
Okay, we had a couple more questions come in. Should I field those, Emerson, here? You ready for that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Would it ever be possible to have a video as the main feature in an article instead of a picture? Yeah, we're actually working on the articles module to make it use the same template editor that the listings does. And we should have that out in the coming months. If you need that done immediately, there is sort of a way to do it, which is the HTML editor in the article body. So there's an HTML editor. I don't know if Emerson can pull that up really quick. And then you can just drop in the snippet from YouTube or wherever you're hosting the video into the source. You hit the source button after you've written the article in there, go to where you want to put the video, and then just drop in the snippet and it'll pull the video in there. So our support team can help you if you need some help dropping a video in the article there with that. And maybe Emerson will pull that up. Are you able to pull that up? Just go into articles, edit that. And so if you scroll down, you'll see how there's a way to put in, just hit the source thing. And then you find the text where you want it. So you want the article to go after that, for the video after that first paragraph, you just drop it in there, the snippet from YouTube. Okay, great. Can one import meta descriptions in bulk with multiple categories? I don't believe our category import has a meta description bulk importer. Just typically people don't have that many categories to do that. And our listings, I think you can import with the listings. I think there's a field in our import spreadsheet for the listing data to import the tags there for that.
But I believe that if we export the listing data and adjust this meta description and SEO fields and re-import this to eDirectory, then we can update the information.
Yeah, I just don't know if it will update the meta descriptions in the category. Okay, you know how the category section has its own meta tags that are separate from the listing, but certainly the listings you can do that. Typically people have more listing volume and not that many categories where you can use the web interface for the category. Question, is there a way to get automatically notified as an admin when links are broken or linked to a website with a 404 error? I think some of that would probably be on Google Search Console, right? As far as broken links in the website, that kind of thing. As far as broken links from like the listing that go to external websites, I think you probably need some other tool to do that, a broken link checker. We don't have that built into the platform. It could be, I mean, if you have millions of listings just spidering all that all the time, you know, it can potentially generate some traffic. So that's probably something you would find some external tool to do. How do we ensure our site ranks high? Will we struggle to rank due to high volume of sites made on the eDirectory platform? Any tips or tricks? I'll tell you what it is. It isn't, there's millions and millions of websites out there on the internet, almost any topic you can possibly think of. And so your differential, the reason you're going to get up high in Google is the quality of your content primarily. And so you really need, deep, really good quality content, photos, video, ratings and reviews, whatever else you can possibly think of. And if you have a differential there, you'll find the eDirectory sites do work. You set them up there, and if you have really good content for a large number of listings, you'll find them to start to get organic rank. But basically, ranking comes down to two things: it's the quality of the content, and then the backlinks, other people linking into your content. So that's the key to it. And if you're able to get the best content out there and more other websites that are relevant to the topic area linking to your listings in your website, you'll find you get up. That's how you rank. And we have a bunch of resources and stuff on the website you can check out. Go to eDirectory.com. There's a resources section, some blog entries, etc., that talk about different facets of getting the SEO rank. Is there a max number of keywords for each listing? So I think in terms of max number of keywords, I don't know if Google has a specification or if it is limited, but it's pretty much a text field, right, guys? They can put in some
I believe we have the limit for 10 keywords for
10 keywords. Okay, yeah. So some of it may be limited there, just based on is that based on listing level? Do you know, Emerson, or is it just the meta description keyword you're talking about?
No, it's just the SEO keywords. Doesn't have to do with, doesn't have to do with the listing level.
Yeah, so check that. You can check that out. And the other thing you got to remember is sometimes less is more, in terms of like if you're putting in keywords about everything, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help Google understand what your listing and your content is about. So you really want to sort of curate that down and make sure that you're putting in keywords are actually relevant, et cetera. And I think we set sort of the best practice recommended level, limit on that number there. Top 3 tips to rank on Google. Would you guys recommend doing Google PPC? Yeah, in terms of the top 3 tips, I guess I already touched on this. There's resources on the blog again. Would I recommend doing Google PPC? That's Google paid search. Yeah, a lot of people use the PPC, buying Google AdWords as part of their business strategy. And so what they do is they sell a listing and then take part of that price that they're paying for a listing and use that to drive some traffic right into that individual listing. You may buy it from Google, you may find another source. You can buy traffic in lots of places out there. You just need to be careful and make sure you're turning ROI on it. You can very, very easily lose your shirt doing that if you're not careful. But sometimes it is good to jump the traffic using some paid ads. It's part of marketing. Among the other things that you're going to do. On my site, I've linked to some of my techniques to Wikipedia. Will I be penalized? I don't know if they'll be penalized for linking to Wikipedia. I think if it's sort of relevant to the content there, it's just sort of normal for the internet. So I think that's probably fine. Just try to make sure everything in your orbit there, links coming in, links going out, that it's all not spammy traffic, is spammy content. It's all pretty good quality stuff. I think that's one thing I'd recommend. Can you guys do a quick tutorial on how to work with the custom widget? Are you able to pull that up, Emerson, the custom content widget, and just show them? Basically, it's a way you can plug in HTML in the page editor. So basically go there, add the widget. And there's the custom content widget. And then you edit it. And it has source there. So you can put in some text and then put text on there, but you put in the source and then you can drop it in the HTML source. One other, and it's pretty simple there. You just need to make sure that the script you get is good and complete and all that. You know, often there's little snippets of things in there, but it's pretty simple. And then there's also one other feature that we have. Yeah, there you can see what the script, you know, the HTML content that you pasted looks like in there. One other thing I just want to mention is that there's also a CSS editor here, which is more for doing style changes throughout the website. And so if you know CSS and a little bit of graphic design, or you have somebody that does, they can get in there and override any of the CSS throughout the website. So if they want to change something that you can't easily see how to do, that, you know, change a font size or color or something like that, the designer can go in and do it through that CSS editor, where they don't need to update a file and upload it and all that sort of thing. Let's see. We have another. Do you have a recommended CSM for subscribers and newsletters? Yeah, we have Campaign Monitor sort of built into the system, which is an enterprise grade newsletter system. Really, you can use anything. I think we have another one for MailChimp, and there's basically any of the systems you can kind of plug in using the custom content widget, et cetera, for that. I don't know if you guys have any recommendations there in terms of a thing for managing a newsletter list to subscribers.
Maybe the MailChimp is one of the most used nowadays and most known.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can find the system that you like using to build and send the newsletter, and then drop it in for that. So MailChimp's certainly a good one. Question: how can I protect my directory from data scraping? Yeah, data scraping is pretty interesting. We often, we've had a number of conversations about clients with that over the years. People worried about their data scraping. It's a bit of a tough thing, because the first thing is you want your data to be scraped by search engines like Google, so that they can index it, and they index all your content, and then they send traffic to you. But then there's bad scrapers that are sort of ripping off your data and taking your copyrighted content. So we looked at it a lot, and it's we had some customers that wanted some custom projects done to try to block that and do all sorts of stuff. I mean, the problem is, at the end of the day, typically my recommendation, just honestly, for you, is to probably, I don't know where you are in your business and your business cycle and all that sort of thing, but it's probably not your most worrisome problem, like somebody copying your data and pasting it up somewhere else. And if they do, often the recourse there is some legal recourse, where if they're making money off your content, you can file, in the US, you can file a Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown notice if it's copyrighted content, and then the hosting provider will need to take it down if they don't get a response. Internationally, you know, of course, some other places that's tough to deal with. There may be some other things you can put on there, some other third-party scripts or something like that that blocks. Cloudflare, Cloudflare at least will block sort of spam bots and stuff like that. If you're really worried about it, maybe you have some high value, really niche database of something, it may be possible to try to develop some type of a system that involves sort of a CAPTCHA or something along. We've dealt with some people that wanted those things built, and we helped build them. At the end of the day, it's sort of tough, because, you know, how are you want real users to use it, and then after X pages you block them out, and is that a good idea? I would evaluate if that's something that you need to worry about, like, now, in terms of all the other business problems of just getting people to view your content. And then if you do need it done, find somebody else that you know, that has kind of what you're looking for sort of built as far as that goes, and figure it out. You can ask us and we can get you a quote if we need to build something. But we don't have anything out of the box for that. Does a member site only widget affect your site SEO? Oh, member only site. Yeah, so maybe that's sort of related to this first question about data scraping. That's sort of you have a paywall. We have a plugin for that, and yeah, if the content is sort of blocked, and you need to log in for it, then that content obviously isn't going to be accessible to Google, and so it's probably a little bit detrimental for that. There may be some ways to try to work it out where Google indexes it, but nobody else does. But I just don't know if that's actually going to work. And I think if you're blocking content from the search engines via paywall or something, then getting there's obviously going to be an SEO impact for that. But it may be worth it, and that may be fine. How would I go about disabling my directory temporarily and set up a splash page while we update eDirectory? Yeah, there's a maintenance mode in the site manager. I don't know if you can show them where that is, Emerson. There's some way to put the directory on maintenance mode in the settings area, I believe, in the site manager.
Yes, there is the maintenance mode, and you can adjust and add it to your maintenance page. So you can display any message you want, put a lead form, etc. So people want the
I think you can find that where in site manager in the settings somewhere in there.
Yeah, but I will double check if the maintenance mode will affect SEO, as the pages won't be accessible. But and I will follow up with Rex directly. Okay, great. And Tanya just posted the logo's tiny on the site. Can this be changed? Yes, Tanya, if you can just send our support team copy the image file that you're using, and maybe say what size you want it, how many pixels X and Y. We'll take care of that for you. See what's going on, take care of that for you. SendGrid, that's an email newsletter type thing. So that may be one comment there that was related to the previous comment. Thanks for mentioning. Data scrape, I'm looking for a technical solution against it. Johannes, we'll have somebody reach out to figure out what you need as far as the technical solution against data scraping, and we can propose some possible solutions there for that if it is something you're really interested in. Can the member login site have more features than the public site? Do you have the details on that member plugin, Emerson, or should we have this person? Somebody's interested in having a paywall type of thing where some of the content is restricted to people logged in. I believe it just blocks the entire content from the website. It does not does not block parts of the website or ads features.
And I know that is one item on our roadmap as well, is to build that out with some additional features there. But Daniel, you can also reach out to your account exec. Just send us an email and we will have somebody reach out and hear what you need and see what we can do to get you there. Great. Can eDirectory do a webinar with more in-depth on the custom widget? Yeah, I tell you what, George, what we'll do, if you need more help on the custom content widget, we can, I'll have somebody reach out to you personally and show you sort of how that works. And maybe if we don't have we may have a knowledge base entry on that already, but if not, I'll have somebody write one of those as well on the custom content widget. If you guys can note that there, and we'll reach out.
Yeah, I just took notes. I'm going to send some examples of what to use and how to use the custom content widget, some HTML samples.
Okay, great. Great. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions? Yes, and Tanya, on the member-only site, search could be curated. Yes, we're working on, that is something on our roadmap, is to more fully build that out. So we hope to have updates on that in the coming months. If you need something immediately or differently, you can reach out, and maybe, you know, there's some cost to it, but we may be able to do a custom project for you if you're needed. Do you typically do a year-end start of new year roadmap with open discussion? We typically just our roadmap, we often don't make it too public because sometimes priorities change and deadlines and all of that. We typically do try to solicit feedback from customers, people interested in the products, about what types of new features or new things that we could use to make it a better product. We have a team of people working on it all the time. I think maybe what we can do is just reach out to Bill and see what he's looking, what his interests are sort of in the roadmap.
Yeah,
we
we certainly do take note of all the suggestions and ideas the clients send to us through support, even webinars, everything. And yeah, so just to give an update to everybody, right now the team is working on having all the plugins work on the mobile app, and then we are going to be working on the bundling, be able to set up better options of packages, and then probably next would be something related to the membership improvement.
Yeah, and there's and Daniel, one other thing I wanted to mention is that there's a whole bunch of other little details and little tweaks that we're making as well in terms of what the big instead of just the big features. So great.
Yes.
Thank you. And we got a shout out for Daniel Storm. Yeah, Daniel's great. He's our US based sales rep. So thanks for the feedback there. We'll pass that along to him. Please add YouTube and TikTok social media icons. That's a great feedback. I think we have that somewhere marked to do that. Actually, that'll probably come out sooner or later. Another feedback on Daniel. That's great. Thanks, Shirley. Can you please revise the deals section? My clients require a deals link not to redeem the ticket. Yes, that's actually one that we have. It's under active development here, so that should be out pretty soon. That making the deals a little bit more freeform instead of linking to sort of a Groupon style redemption ticket. Where can I update and describe the banners? The banners are in the banner section. So if you go under content on the left nav in the site manager, then you'll see the banners area there. And so you can edit them there. If you need help with that, just reach out to support and we'll show you how to do that. Do we have a Black Friday offer? Yes, I think we're going to do some Black Friday offers. We'll reach out to you. We can probably get you a preview on the Black Friday pretty soon. If we note that, we'll give them advance notice on the Black Friday offer. All right. And when will the new directory versions be available? We're probably going to have something out. It's going to be very early next year, something like that, for the next version of eDirectory. So we're still sort of settling the full timeline for the next release. How to integrate the Instagram feed. I only seem to be able to do Facebook and Twitter. I think there was something with the Instagram feed where they had an API change or they took out access or something along that regarding the Instagram feed. Do you know the details of that offhand, Emerson or Daniel?
It looks like now it requires a token that will be refreshed from time to time without prior notice, that we can turn down the feed. So it's not the best user friendly.
Yeah, essentially Instagram made it a little bit more difficult to get that to work. I guess there's some token that you have to go in and update regularly, but they don't, it expires, etc. And then they can disable the thing on the site and sort of cause a bit of a headache. So I think we're looking at how to get that done in a way where it actually works and doesn't cause everybody a headache, and the content there is actually on there and doesn't disappear from time to time. So that's certainly something that's on the list as well. Will I have to pay again for an update? I just updated. No, if you have the owned license and you get the support contract, Charlene, that's for a year. So you get upgrades for the full year. And then if you're on a monthly version of the product, upgrades are included. So you should be fine to get the updates when those come out. Rex, noted, and we will send you a follow-up on that, on the Black Friday stuff. And I guess that looks like about all the questions here. So, so fantastic. Thanks everybody for joining us today, and stay tuned. We have another couple webinars coming up shortly here. What's up next, Emerson? as far as the webinar?
On the 30th, keyword research for online directories, and on December 14th, prepare your website for the holidays.
Okay,
That's
great.
the next two.
Great. So thanks, everybody. And yes, more webinars. We'll do what we can to do more webinars. So thank you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and have a great afternoon. Cheers.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.